decidedly lower energy episode of the Fam Zone. We're just going to be chit-chatting. I'm Erik who once again got thrust into the host position. Who else is here with me?
Ooh, I get to go second. That's special.
Yes.
I'm Lou Gonzalez. I go moving on up in the world.
I'm John Scott. I am no longer the last one to go anymore, even though I just kind of take the position at this point sometimes.
It's you're last in line, but first in our hearts, John. So it's good.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, shit. Thanks.
So how's everybody's quarantine going? Oh, and hey, who else is here? It sounds like I heard our fourth person.
Yeah, I am back to take back my spot. I challenge you to fight to the death, Lou.
Battle Royale.
All right. Let's both the duel is to see who goes to a grocery store and can touch the most things and touch their face. That's
No. The goal is who can lick a toilet seat without getting coronavirus.
I think mine was more fun. Or see who can get more high fives.
Right.
I feel so bad. Earlier today, I ran out to the grocery store after work because there were a couple things I wanted to get, and I was at a Wegmans, so I was like, "Oh well, I want to get some wine to surprise my wife, so we can actually have some wine to drink." Go in there and grab all the stuff, and I'm being careful about it. Get up to the register, which all of the cashiers that are very, very harangued and just busy, and they're like, "Oh, can we have your ID?" I'm like, "Yeah, here you go," and then they're like, "Oh,
wait, they still need to ID you?"
Yes, they do. Yeah, well, it's a weird time right now, so they're being very careful. And the woman gets my ID, and she's like, "Oh, do you have your temporary ID?" I'm like, "What do you? Oh, fuck!" Because my ID expires on March 17th. I got my camera card on March 15th. I haven't been able to go to the DMV because guess what?
Right.
Everything is fucking closed. So I think they had to, I hope they didn't, but I think they might have had to dispose of those bottles because I touched them. And
I bet that they would Lysol wipe them or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's...
I went to the grocery store this morning, and one thing that's nice is they're letting older people go in first.
Yeah, same thing around here.
But they had like a system outside. I went to a Trader Joe's. And basically everyone was in line, and then they said they Lysol wiped all the carts, and as someone came out, they would have someone Lysol wipe the cart handles and then pass it to the person in line because they were waiting.
Wow.
Only so many people could be in the store at one time.
Okay, yeah, they haven't quite done that at the Wegmans around us at least yet, but yeah, they had sanitizing.
Man, you're fancy with all Wegmans and everything.
We've only had it around for less than a year at this point, maybe a little bit over, but yeah.
The closest Wegmans by me is like 35 minutes. The one they just opened like a new ShopRite that's supposed to be a fancy looking ShopRite, but it's ShopRite.
Oh, well, I mean, the only reason I went to Wegmans is because I knew they had wine, because all of our state stores are closed down because Pennsylvania's a draconic state, and we have state stores like our grocery.
They're the heroes. They're the heroes who slayed the monster that is GameStop.
yes, we are. I'm very proud of that. So yeah, like we don't have a whole lot of liquor. Well, we don't have any liquor at our grocery stores. We have like wine and beer, and that's it.
That's what we have here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate it.
We have ABC.
I'm from a liquor state. Fuck yeah, bitches.
Well, that's what Jersey is, but like I actually kind of like it because then if I just want to get beer, like we went grocery shopping and I got 2 6-packs.
Yeah. I mean, I grabbed that 4-pack of Past the Ribbon coffee, which is it's so good. Oh my god!
Honestly, I'm gonna buy some next time I see it because of your recommendation. So
I'll try it.
It's like it's $10 for a 4-pack, but it's good.
That's honestly not too bad. That's like Guinness is like $9 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, and it's if you guys have ever had like the Starbucks like Frappuccino in a can, that's pretty much what it tastes like, except with a little bit of an alcohol tang because it's 5%. But yeah,
so it's like it's creamy.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like
it's like an iced cappuccino essentially.
Oh, so it's kind of like a mudslide.
Kind of, but not quite as fat girly.
Thick?
Yeah. It's not bad though. Seriously, it's worth it just to try it. because
Right.
I got to try it when I was playing D&D months ago before all the shit started to go down. And
Before it became D&D in real life. Before
Exactly.
Actually, I got to play my first game in forever the week
Yeah.
before everything hit the fan.
Oh no.
Oof.
Well, there's actually a bunch of different ways to do the stuff online. Like last week, we played on FaceTime, and we kind of fumbled through that. But there's a program called D20 that you can actually play like games. And if you play it on your PC, apparently they have like actual like miniatures and like dice rolling animations and stuff
There's
like
a
that.
Steam game called like what is it? I have it. It's like board something, and you can set up the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you can set like they have like default things where you can download like people's pre-made stuff, and it has like dice rolls. The only thing is though that there is a button that someone can hit that just flips the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's everybody been up to with their quarantine time outside of those of us who are still working?
Getting angry at Star Trek. That's been 90% of my time. Just
I forgot Picard's free
movies, a lot of first-time movie watches for me.
Yeah, that's a lot of us are doing that. I think just going through those movie libraries.
Yeah. I think I've been doing like my gaming library first of like everything I've bought in the last 2 years that I haven't played.
Jesus.
Because like I'll play them for like a week and then I just like, oh, something new comes out and I'm like, oh, I gotta move on, and I'm too ADD to like stick to like play 2 things.
Yeah, my big thing is just having Game Pass is just a godsend right now.
Game Pass is awesome.
Yeah, it's worth
I've mostly been playing that Sea Salt game because
Sea Salt?
Sea Salt? Is that what it's
Sea
called?
Salt. I thought
Yeah.
I know the game you're talking about.
I thought you said Seesaw. Yeah. What do you
Seesaw.
I was like, what type of weird physics game? Yeah, what do you think of Sea Salt so far? Because I remember I'd suggested it a while ago.
Yeah. It's really fun. It isn't a game you can play for too long. I don't think. It's a very much like a short burst thing, because after a couple hours you're like, okay, this is a little tiring. Seeing those little sprites on a big screen is a little bit on a phone. I think I would be playing it like constantly. I'd be up at night playing it.
See, I completely disagree on that, but that's I get it. I understand different mentality for that.
Well, yeah, also my brain has been trained to expect that play style on a mobile device, like just through the way I grew up playing Nintendo games primarily on Game Boy and phone games and that kind of thing. So that style just on a TV, it doesn't fit with my it doesn't fit in my square hole.
You're a very, very odd way of looking at things, because playing Nintendo games on Game Boy, you're getting the like, okay, well, this is good enough version for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's Pokemon. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. That's my entire context for Nintendo stuff. So, like,
it's Pokemon?
Well, not just Pokemon, but Game Boy specifically. Like, that's my Nintendo console that I have any past with whatsoever that's worth mentioning. Like, I had a Wii, but like, who played the Wii?
Question mark?
But everybody had the Wii, and it was good. It just
it was good.
It's first party. It had great
for what it was. It was fine. It was fine for my grandma, who occasionally used the.
Oh, see, you weren't playing it right.
The Wii Sports.
I think I was a senior when it came out, and I took it to college, and that became our pregame thing where we would drink and play like Wii Sports.
Sure. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but like.
Did I just lose everybody?
I lost Lou, and now I lost Erik.
I'm here.
I lost everybody there.
Everyone dropped out and disappeared for a second. Goddamn ISPs.
I didn't even notice. I just kept on talking.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden it got quiet, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this has happened a few times in the past couple recordings to me, but I figured it was just me. So this time it was everybody. Awesome.
Yay.
We're a very professional podcast, everyone.
Yes, we are. We're the most nobody's more professional than us.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, my only context for Nintendo stuff is mobile gaming. Like that's it for me. And as a result, like a lot of older games can't come to me through their like re-releases on Game Boy Advance. So my only context for Sonic games is the Game Boy Advance re-release that they did.
Oh
God, I hate you.
No wonder you don't play many video games. Jesus Christ.
My God.
Wait, the Sonic 1 Game Boy remake?
They did like it wasn't in one specific game. I think it was like a collection of levels from all of the previous games.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was good for a Game Boy game, and I was rocking an SP.
There's like a Sonic the Hedgehog 1 Game Boy Advance port that is legitimately terrible that came out at the same time as Sonic 06.
Yeah, I'm sure that one was bad. What I'm not like, it looked good enough for what it was. So
the thing is, though, there was actually I never played it, but supposedly really good Sonic RPG on Game Boy Advance, and it was made by the team that made Knights of the Old Republic.
Sonic Battle, I think it's called.
What's that?
Sonic Battle, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Wait, no, you're thinking of Sonic Chronicles on DS because that was BioWare.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Well, the DS was like the king of random RPGs that no one ever knew existed.
Yes.
Because I think that's the system that has I think that has like the 2 Dragon Ball RPGs that are amazing that no one knew existed.
I think you're right. I don't know. I had a DS for a while, but it was at a point where I was like, wait, I like going out to the bar and getting high. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I don't need 2 screens and
those 2 other things shouldn't necessarily mean I won't play my DS, but it definitely was like, well, I could get a new game or I could just go out drinking. I think I'm just going to go out drinking. So.
It was on the Game Boy Advance. The Legacy of Goku, I think, is the big RPG.
Oh, those are great games.
Are they like action RPGs?
No, they're straight up like RPGs, where it's like Zelda, but you're Goku.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's an action RPG then.
There was a Return of the Kings RPG also that I played a lot of because that was the only game.
There one that was on the game, PlayStation.
Yeah, there's one on Xbox that like you were a group that was following the Fellowship, or you're doing stuff before the Fellowship, and like you were hitting all of the story notes, including the final boss of this game was the Eye of Sauron. You were fighting the giant eye.
I remember that because my friends and I would put an absurd amount of hours in that game.
Yeah, my roommate at the time was playing on the Xbox that we had down in the what should have been, I guess, the dining room in our kitchen in the apartment, or the house that our friend owned. But yeah, we had a huge projection TV down there because his ex-girlfriend's brother left it there. So we just played Guitar Hero and video games on that, and drank filtered vodka.
Right. Yeah, like you do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Normal human reaction to things.
So anything in particular that you guys have been watching that stuck out?
I mean, I did already mention it, Star Trek, but I don't want to go into it unless you guys want to hear about it. Unless you guys really want to hear about it.
I have not watched it, and I know you and me both were big fans of Discovery.
Yes.
Why is Picard bad?
Because it gets a lot of things wrong that Discovery got right. And that's the most disappointing part to me. That it's the same people for the most part, except for a couple of new wrenches into the gears. But otherwise, it's people who, to me, clearly understood Star Trek for what I expect from Star Trek in today's world. People who profess that they love Star Trek and TNG and the character of Picard, who, as far as I'm concerned, just messed up at least half of everything. Like, there's moments and episodes that maybe aren't that bad, but the series on the whole is just not good. They really mess up a lot of plot stuff, and just like the general direction of the show has no identity. There's no sense of like why it's different from anything that came before, while at the same time not feeling at all like any of the previous iterations of Star Trek in any meaningful way. So it's a Star Trek show with no identity, and it's rudderless and not fun outside of like fan servicey stuff.
Okay, that was going to be my
uh,
question. Is its identity fan service?
Which
Yeah, kinda.
that's frustrating because like Discovery is none of those things. It has such a direction. It knows exactly where to go. And
Yeah.
it's threading the needle of like continuity in this very weird way. And that like they deal with in season 1 and then kind of readjust into season 2.
Yeah.
And the acting and all the character development in that show is so good. Like I love those characters.
Yeah. And that shows a great balance of like retaining the identity of Star Trek while switching from episodic to a much more serialized format. And yeah, like just managing to do that and also be a show that like when I think of it, I'm like, yeah, that's Star Trek to me. That's what I expect from Star Trek. And I know that certain hardcore elements of the Star Trek fan base are never going to agree with that position.
Oh yeah,
But
I
at
know a
least-
lot of people hate
yeah.
Discovery, and I just like
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like
But
I
at
get
least
it,
I
but
can
I don't
agree
get
with
it.
him on Picard. That's the nice thing that I'm noticing.
I
is
haven't
that-
seen a single one of the Star Trek shows on CBS All Access. So
Discovery, if you're gonna watch one, there's
Yeah.
2 seasons of Discovery, and is there 4 mini episodes?
Yeah, there's 4 like in between.
And they were actually
episodes.
really good.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
and like
like-
one of them has like plays into one of the finales of one of the like it plays into the show.
Yeah. Like if I have a problem with Discovery, it's the season-long plot of Discovery season 2 isn't my favorite, but I think the show overall is still good. It's handled well, and they don't betray their own characters ever, and that's something that I appreciated. It gets a little bit mystery boxy, but I still thought it was well done for the most part. And Picard, it's just okay. To start, the first 4 episodes could easily be an episode and a half. So there's a massive pacing problem throughout the entire show. And every episode spends half of its time restating everything that you've already seen and like just giving you the same information over and over and over again.
Well, that's because it's CBS All Access, and they're figuring
Right.
the average age of the people watching it is like 70, so they need to be reminded every episode what's
You say
happening.
that,
And
but,
I could
those
see
people
that
don't
to
know
a
how to
point.
work. Those people don't know how to work an app.
No, they don't know how to sign up for
Yeah,
CBS All Access.
they're basing the entire thing off of like hardcore Trekkies.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's a problem. Like and then they don't take many the jumps that they do take, they immediately it's not retcon, but they sort of like soft sell them after the fact. Like, this is a big thing that we're doing. It's different. And it's not really that big because of this thing. And we're going to pretend that we're getting tomatoes thrown at us. Like, they just undercut themselves every single time they make a bold or interesting choice. And then they also will immediately just set up something about a character, and then they'll go back on it almost right away. Like, and then when they deal with established characters, established canon characters, they will be respectful of their histories, but they'll occasionally just say, oh, and this thing happened that makes no sense. Or this is something that happened in between when you last saw them and now. And that choice that they made makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but they made that choice, and we're not going to explain it or buttress it in any way. We're just going to let it sit and let you try and figure out why they made that decision.
Riker is the world's worst space racist.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Deanna is an anti-vax.
These aren't actual things they did, right?
No,
I hope
it's
not.
pretty close. Like,
oh, really? Jesus!
It's no, like,
does Riker say the Federation version of the N-word? What's going
No.
on?
No, the main thing is okay.
He calls
two main
Worf some sort of
legacy-
weird derogatory name.
The two main legacy characters that we visit are Picard and Seven of Nine, and they take some liberties with Seven of Nine. From my memory of Seven of Nine, from watching Voyager as a child, and they make some decisions about her character that I'm fine with.
No, go ahead.
Because she's a minor character, I'm more all right with some of those things because they could explain them better later. But they suggest some things about Picard that do not match up with who he is or how I think of that character. So that he doesn't feel like a natural extrapolation of him in Nemesis or even the end of the original TNG run. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, does Seven of Nine have a human husband who's trying to get her to
go to a swingers pub
and go to swinger clubs? Yeah.
Sure, maybe. Who knows?
Well, wait, you know about that, don't you?
Yeah.
Jerry Ryan's husband, and
yeah, and wasn't part of that like him having to resign? Didn't that have to do with like Obama getting a seat?
Yep.
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah, he's the reason that Obama got to where he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he was going to run for that Senate seat and then couldn't because of the scandal, and then Obama came in and took that spot.
Yeah, he jumped right into that. So thank you, Jerry Ryan's philanderous husband. Yeah. I off of Star Trek because I used to love Star Trek. I don't know if I have the patience for it anymore. Have you guys watched any of the other episodes of Twilight Zone? Because my wife and I watched the first episode when it's free, and I haven't heard much good about it.
I haven't watched it, and I've only heard bad things.
Yeah. I don't remember how many episodes deep I got, but I wasn't a fan of a majority of the episodes that I saw.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah, like, and I was very excited for that show. So.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, Jordan Peele's involved. Oh, he's hosting it. Yes, this is going to be great. Oh, this is like medium to bad level 80s Twilight Zone that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's like Black Mirror, right, on Netflix?
Yeah.
Like, kind of does that idea modern ways, and I don't think they wanted to copy that, so they tried to be like way more retro, and it just killed them.
Yeah, but it feels like they couldn't decide whether they wanted to be retro or they wanted to be Black Mirror, and I think
it felt like it was torn between two identities here.
Yeah, and I feel like they should have just picked a lane and gone with it.
I am looking at next season's crop of episodes. Looks like Jordan Peele is actually writing one next season.
Okay, so it'll be a good episode then. Cool. Great.
Yeah. Like I got to episode 3, which is not and like I didn't like that first episode involving Kumail Nanjiani because many reasons. For one, the jokes weren't funny. And that's a problem. If you're writing a show about a comedian, make their jokes funny. Unless the point is that their jokes aren't funny.
See, that was my big thing with that first episode. Like at the time, I enjoyed it, but then thinking back on it, I was just like, this felt like people who watched a whole lot of Twilight Zone before they started watching, and didn't understand what made the original Twilight Zone good. Like it just they got the basic framework down, but they didn't understand the heart of what made Twilight Zone interesting at the time. I don't know. It
Yeah.
felt like a hollow imitation.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. I don't know why. I just started to Google to myself. Did any of you listen to the most recent side stories?
Mm-mm. Did one come out like the other night?
Yeah, like yesterday, I think, or the day before.
No, I listened to the one from last week.
Okay, because they talk about like an old bit that they did in like their Murderfish show, like the old Twilight Zone when the guy loses his glasses.
Oh yeah,
but instead it's the guy like he's like really wants to masturbate, and then the whole world ends, and he goes into a porn shop, but his hands fall off.
That's great.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not.
There was
fair.
time.
Okay, so again, I'm looking at the episodes. I did like their version of Nightmare at 10,000 feet, which was 30,000 feet.
Well, that's a proven commodity that you can sell.
Right,
so it's like this.
It's the one where I'm
version.
most it's the one where I'm the most like disposed to enjoy it. And their take is pretty simple. It's just instead of it being a gremlin, he's listening to a podcast. That Dan Carlin is hosting actually, about a flight that's about to go down, and he realizes it's his flight. So they kind of
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they do an interesting thing with it, and it works. And then the next one was so here's the thing: the two most interesting episodes still didn't get me interested in the rest of the show. My all access subscription, I don't know, it expired, and right before the fourth episode, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to. Even though Replay, which is an episode about a black woman and her son on their way to college, and it's about them being chased by a cop. Okay, what was that? That was a loud noise. I don't know what that was. But it was, and it's essentially another version of Groundhog Day, kind of, where they keep on reliving the same couple hours. And it was an interesting enough story, but like you said, it felt like an imitation of the classic Twilight Zone. It didn't feel quite as well thought out as Twilight Zone that I think of. Like, the great thing about those classic old school episodes is they feel like if you took the scripts and you just shot them now, change a couple things, they would work. They would,
contemporize them, and they would work really well.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard that's been the same thing with Amazing Stories, that reboot that came out recently.
Yeah, I only watched the first episode of that, and it was well done. Like, it was well acted. Like, the production's there, but I don't know. Like, it didn't feel like the strongest first episode they could have gone with. Like,
that's what I've heard. I've heard it's like going to be just like not that good.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't given it the other episodes that are out, however many are out at this point, a try, but it, I grew up watching Amazing Stories, and I had the box set for a while on DVD that they're not that great. Like, there's a few really standout episodes, like the one with the cartoon wheel that has every actor ever in it. And like the Family Dog, which was interesting because it was an animated episode, but like, yeah, there's just, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of falling in the same thing where it's like trying for this particular type of like serialized TV show, and it's missing the mark because they're trying too hard to get you to feel like the old show did. And also, a lot of the people who watch that show, there's no real nostalgia for it because nobody who's under the age of like 40 really cares about Amazing Stories that much.
Right.
I think I remember one episode, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's the one with the cartoon wheel, isn't it, for the plane?
Yeah, it's the one with the cartoon wheel on the plane. Yep. That's the only one I remember.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
don't even know the show outside of conversation. Like, it's just it's a reference point that other people make, but
it's like not spooky Twilight Zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like, it's like Amblin Twilight Zone, which is what it was. So
yes, that's very accurate. Yeah. It's because it was airing at like 8:00 on Sundays. So no, they're not trying to scare anybody when that was on. Like, there were a few things that were like mildly like spooky to like maybe a 10 or 11-year-old, but that would be about it. Like, everything else was just like, oh, that was neat because it had Steven Spielberg's name attached to it. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this would be more acceptable, I guess, if the last crop of Black Mirror episodes had been like amazing, but they were
Mhm.
kind of middle of the road. Um,
Yeah, that's putting it kindly. Like I gotta say, this last season, the 3 episodes we got,
mhm.
I wasn't super into. Like
I
there
like the
were
Miley Cyrus one, kind of, I
it
guess.
was okay.
Yeah,
Like I feel like the one with the guy who the one with Topher Grace in it. Like that was the one
that one was good. Yeah,
that
yeah.
one felt the most like Black Mirror, but
Mhm,
everything else was just kind of like, what are you guys doing?
mhm.
Like
Yeah,
because the season prior to this one was fucking fantastic. Like
mhm.
they
Yeah, the
hit
last, yeah,
they hit
yeah, man.
everything I wanted out of Black Mirror. Like they had like the White Mirror episodes, like we've talked
Mhm.
about, and then they
Yeah,
had that episode that's like so dark that you're just like, oh god, like I need to
mhm.
go wash myself after watching it.
Yeah, and Bandersnatch might not have been perfect, but it felt like Black Mirror. It
Hmm.
certainly felt like part of the larger series. It felt part of the
Hmm.
whole.
Plus, a choose your own adventure fits the idea of what Black Mirror
Right.
goes for.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it totally fits the aesthetic of what they're going for. This idea of like technology as not as a way of a function of nihilism.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like just yeah, it totally fit. And yeah, this season was just like okay, all right. It felt like they got a lot of cameos and a lot of celebrities, but they didn't have much of a story to tell.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like you had an episode with Black Manta and the Falcon in it,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
like that's what you came up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did
Which
we see Black Manta's dick?
exactly. Yeah. We
Here's the thing: if I had, I might have watched the whole episode, but I couldn't even finish it. Like, ugh.
Because we've seen it both in its natural shade and blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right, we didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Black Mirror. Somebody should resurrect Outer Limits and just do it perfectly. Just like go all
It's
in.
not getting resurrected, but I know Scream Factory's putting the Tales from the Dark Side movie out on Blu-rays this summer. So
Yeah.
Okay. That's the thing. Like Tales from the Dark Side, like the movie. That's the one that has what the. Have you guys ever seen the Tales from the Dark Side movie?
I have not, but I've heard of
think
it.
so.
It's the one that has it like the main story that's connecting all the other ones is the kid that it's basically Hansel and Gretel, like, and the kid is making the woman tell him stories before she cooks him. Like, if I'm remembering this correctly, it has the gargoyle story. It has the one where I think it's Buster Keaton gets killed by a black cat. It's been a while since I've
Cat
seen
from
it.
Hell is the Stephen King one
Yeah.
that Jay Romero did because they had Romero. Oh, I guess he just wrote one. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, all right, then that is that movie. It's not bad. Like it definitely deserves a watch if you haven't seen it. But like Tales from the Dark Side was another show that like when I was younger it was scary, but like looking back on it as an adult now, it's like eh, eh. So I don't know. I feel like nobody's willing to do like a real horror and anthology series that actually goes for it. Because like
Well,
Creep Show.
Creep Show was
yeah.
not that great. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was very hit or miss.
Well, that's the problem with anthologies, though. They tend to be hit or miss.
Well, I get that, but I mean, there are times that like original
Mhm.
Twilight Zone and hell, even the '80s Twilight Zone, like
Yeah.
I would say there were more hits than misses,
Sure.
and that's all I'm looking for out of an anthology is like
Mhm.
have like 60% of the episodes be really good,
Yeah.
and the other 40% can be dog shit, and I don't care.
Well, I could even go for just one episode, or in the case of movies, as we've talked about before, one segment that's really good.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to sort of not forgive it, but give it a pass at least. Like that werewolf episode of Creep Show was enough for me that I don't mind that some of the episodes weren't as good.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But that's the thing, like I forgot about it because
Yeah.
everything else was just that I remember of it was just so painfully mediocre, even the stuff that seemed to have a decent
Yeah.
premise. Like
Yeah, and
the
yeah.
Dollhouse one I thought was off to a good start, and then I was like,
Mhm.
at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I thought the Scarecrow one could have been better. I thought it was creepy, but the story kind of went nowhere.
I don't even remember that one. Like,
Yeah.
we might not have even gotten to that because I think we watched like the first 5 episodes of it or something, and then it was kind of like, okay, we're kind of done with this.
Yeah. The thing I liked most is that they didn't commit to like an hour for each story.
Mhm.
They gave them the time that they needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Gray Matter, that Stephen King story, it was like a lot of the worst Stephen King elements in one story, I thought.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Well,
Wait, which short story collection?
It's one of his short stories that was adapted for Creepshow.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I haven't heard that.
Yeah. It wasn't.
So, what book was it a retelling of?
It was. I think it was from Skeleton Crew.
It's from
I meant like which story that he was it originally that he rewrote and rewrote.
No, this was one that actually I don't think it's anything else from it has ever appeared in one of his novels or any like connected works. Like it was back when he was really pumping out short stories, because that's honestly what
the Coke years.
Well,
this is 78, so yes, it is very cokey.
Yeah, either that or
that was better than the pill years. The pill years were dry time.
Actually, I think that might have been his drinking time. Cocaine didn't come until the mid '80s, I don't think, because that's when
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, I was gonna say Maximum Overdrive that he doesn't remember blinding a man permanently for.
I think that's when he was at his maximum cocainess.
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Looking at.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, like aside from that werewolf story, the other good story is The Finger. Did you see that one?
Yes. Yeah. That was interesting.
I've seen that before on other sites.
Yeah.
Well, this. This
God
was,
damn you.
This was. That was DJ Qual was in it or whatever. Yeah, like that was interesting because I'd never seen anything even similar to that. So that was.
God, there's a name I haven't thought of in about 15 years. DJ Qualls.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was shocking to see him pop up. But yeah, that was actually a really well done story. I did enjoy that one quite a bit.
But yeah, like the rest of them, you're right. It is very looking at them again because
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Black Mirror came in and kind of just destroyed anthology series for anybody else going forward.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way.
I was gonna say they are doing a Outer Limits reboot is a premium network per variety.
We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, I feel like if any of them, just based off the DNA of the tone of the show, Outer Limits could match Black Mirror depending on who's a part of it. Like the sensibility of both shows are much closer together, and I think,
I guess because originally Outer Limits was the sci-fi answer to the Twilight Zone.
Right.
Like Outer Limits was like hard sci-fi back when it was on.
Yeah, it was only sci-fi basically.
I always thought of it as like the meaner Twilight Zone. Even as a kid, I was like, this is the less likely to end on a happy place Twilight Zone. That's how I saw it, at least. It was like,
I feel like Outer Limits was like more alien shit and like stuff like that.
I just mean like there were episodes of that where I couldn't even begin to watch it. Like they would open up, they would show you the setting, and like, no, no, thanks. I'll go back to Twilight Zone in the 2000 series, which had a running thread throughout all the episodes where it was like a time traveling dude who was bringing people places, and he brings a man to Nazi Germany at the end to show him the error of his ways.
That's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, like it's real bad. But I would watch that over the 2000s Outer Limits because it's like, no thanks, I'm good.
Was that the one
I don't
that was
need to be
hosted by
here.
Forrest Whitaker?
I think so.
That was Twilight Zone.
Oh, that
no, that was Twilight Zone. That's right.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
what was the show where it's the clips of Jonathan Frakes saying it's false? We create we laugh every time.
That's beyond belief.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite shows of all time because it's so goofy. But it terrified me as a child.
Yes, but at the same time, it really did. Jonathan Frakes old clips of just it's false or it's true. We made it up. Not this time.
Well, yeah, like, have you ever heard of a blah blah blah? Have you ever ridden a bike?
You ever rode a bicycle?
Have you ever turned a knob too far and broken the door?
So when he would come to the opening of the episode, would he always step over the back of a chair to sit down on it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
I wasn't sure because that was his move in Next Generation. So,
well, that's what happens when you're like 7 feet tall. We don't have a resident tall boy here to confirm, but I believe he would.
he's
I feel
busy.
like all these were shows that like were what the History Channel started off as.
No, it's what they turned into.
Well, I think they started there.
I just looked up Jonathan Frakes' filmography. I forgot he directed the Thunderbirds movie, like from 2000.
He directed a lot of things.
Wait, the one that's like kind of the one that is the puppets.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And Bill Paxton is the dad.
Oh God, why?
Did that come out before or after Team America?
That came out the same year. That came out like a couple months before.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that must have destroyed like any chance that had once the trailers come out.
Well, it bombed horribly.
Yikes.
Like Team America did fine, but this movie I remember bombing horribly. But I forgot he did. I remember he did Clockstopper like a couple years before, which I liked. But I forgot Thunderbirds.
Wait, Clockstop. That I think that was actually based on the Philip K. Dick story.
It was not.
Was it?
It was a Nickelodeon movie.
I could have sworn there was
that had Michael Biehn as an evil bad guy of evil who wanted a watch that could stop time.
All right, maybe I'm thinking of a different time-stopping group of kids movies, but okay, yeah, there was something else that was. No, that might be it. I don't know.
I'm looking at it right now. I see no thing of the name Philip K. Dick involved.
I'm thinking H.G. Wells though.
Okay.
He did the live action Thunderbirds. Wasn't there like a?
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Okay, no, wasn't there like a newer puppet one
that came out?
There was on Amazon. Yeah, that was a show on Amazon. I'm pretty sure.
Which I don't know why anybody would think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done. Apparently, that's done really well so far. That new Thunderbirds.
Yeah, it's mostly aimed towards kids, I assume. That's why I never checked it out because, it did not look.
It has a decent cast. Like, it has like a couple names in here I recognize in that new one.
Yeah.
That's gonna drive me insane. I could have sworn there was a time travel movie that.
I feel like we've had this conversation before, Eric.
It's
about like something exactly like this.
I'm literally looking up Philip K. Dick time travel kids right now.
Yeah, no, all I'm seeing in the trivia for Clockstoppers is that it is inspired by an H.G. Wells story. It's called The New Accelerator.
Okay.
About a scientist who develops a drug enabling him to move so fast no one can see him. So he's it's the Flash.
No, he's what's his name? The season 2 villain.
Zoom.
Well, you mean the comic book version of Zoom, but yes, that's the same idea. Like in Heroes, Hero, the worst named character of all time. I'm sorry, I know that's a real Japanese name, but don't name your character Hero.
You're sort of lead.
Oh,
wait,
gosh.
I remember Clockstoppers having French Stewart as a kind of bad guy, but not really.
Yes, he is. But yeah, like in Heroes, there was Hero who could stop time, and then there was a speedster, and she could realize he was stopping time because of her speedster powers. So
remember when they were
Ali
Lar was triplets and they all had different powers, but we didn't know that because like 2 of them were dead and one.
Remember when
triplets,
Heroes
or
was
was
a good
she
show for like one season?
I thought she was like super Tyler Durden. Am I wrong?
No, I
Is
think
that-
she's triplets, but then one of them lives inside of her.
What?
God damn that show.
So it's something like that. One of them is dead, and she's posing as one of them. But it's why, like in the show, where she kind of seems like she has split personality. It's like one of
Okay.
her sisters is taking over.
Yeah, that show was weird. That show.
And then what Hayden Panettiere is the daughter of the one guy who's always
She's
a
the
bad
cheerleader,
guy.
man.
Yeah, but she's the bastard child of like the guy who's
You mean
Peter
Siler?
No, not
no.
Siler. Siler's the bastard brother of like the
Right.
Peter Facinelli. The oldest one is actually Hayden Panettiere's father. Also,
Right. Yeah, that's right.
'Cause
Oh, yeah,
everybody-
Nathan.
Ooh, what was his name? Now I'm remembering too. What was
he's in every show. Like he's like the shithead Shield, like a head of the U.S. government in
Mhm.
Agents of Shield. He's in a
Yeah, I
bunch.
know.
He's always like a douche.
Noah Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy who I thought was the guy from The Spirit. I thought that they were the same man
Yes,
for a very long
yes.
time. I was very shocked to find out that they weren't the same man because they look identical. At least I
Yeah,
thought
one can grow a mustache and the other cannot.
exactly. This is a fact.
God, you know what? I remember when Heroes was. I remember being 14, thinking that first season was great.
Oh, I watched the first two
Yeah.
seasons, and I can't tell you anything else about the show.
I remember the
I
fourth season had
remember
Robert
Flash.
Nipper and Carney people.
Yes. Well, okay, so his plan in that season is to use a deaf woman who plays instruments, but like she plays them and they have like superpowers, like they're supercharged, like Gambit. His plan was to use her to create a giant earthquake that would kill all the normal people.
That sounds kind of like the Umbrella Academy Apocalypse Suite, the comic at least.
Mhm.
There was the problem with that show is there was like in the first season, it's one of those shows where like there's 17 different storylines, and then when you get to the end of the first season, it's like, oh, you can kind of see where they're all connected. And then season 2 is like, oh, they're all connected. And then our villain is not a villain anymore. It was part of his power.
Yeah.
Siler, Zachary Quinto, which is where he came from.
Mhm.
And then it gets into now people who didn't have powers, and there's like a whole. It gets very X-Files.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like-
they're like not mutants; they're like genetically engineered. And there's multiple timelines.
Yeah, the last episode of that show I remember watching was the one where the doctor who was examining all the people with powers like injected himself. And then I
Yes,
never
yep.
finished that season.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
who was the bad guy in the beginning of the
Bloodwork.
season of Flash? Yeah, Bloodwork.
Well, yeah, he turns all like the
He's into
fly.
a giant cockroach, right?
Yeah, but not in a cool way. Like he like yeah.
He's very Brundlefly.
Oh, good.
He's very Fly, but not in any interesting
You know what?
way.
You know what he is? He is what's his name turns into in the terrible movie remake of Lost in Space.
Oh yeah, he's like Smith.
I'm reading. He gains
Yeah.
Spider-Man like powers.
Yes. Well, he has to get doused in this magic red liquid.
Oh, like the
and
stuff out of that sarcophagus in Egypt.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where
Yeah.
it went. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the second season where Peter went to a different timeline and fell in love with an Irish girl and then left her there because
That
he
sounds
got out of it?
familiar.
Yeah.
I
it's-
watched
No,
all of
I-
these. I rewatched
I
it
think that's
after.
like way later because
Oh.
there's like a timeline where Hayden Panettiere is evil, and then the other Asian guy has like Kamehameha powers.
He has
for some
like
reason.
lightning powers. But like he's like supercharged. He's like the dude from Infamous. He's like
Oh god.
way
See, for some reason, I didn't watch all of Heroes. I did watch all of The Cape.
Yes, so did I.
why?
I watched all of the
Because
kids.
I was also in high school, didn't realize what bad
Oh.
TV was at this point.
Yeah, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. I got through the first episode of The Cape and I was like, no. Fuck you.
See, I was
Go
like,
fuck yourself.
I was
was
like Keith
more
David.
upbeat
Yes,
as I
give
am
Keith
now.
David and Vinnie Jones. Give it to me.
There were good parts of that, but I was like, this
Keith
is
David,
like RoboCop, but
Jones,
not as funny.
Summer
as the
Glau.
first
Let's not
part.
leave her out of this mix.
Oh, I forgot she's in
Yeah.
that.
Well, Summer Glau's been in a lot of things that I'm sure
she's been in every show that was canceled right after she was on it, except for Arrow. Arrow's the only show that survived her being on it.
Yeah. Well, it's because they killed her character off. That's why.
Man, this had so much cool potential, and they fucked it up.
Yeah, who is the main villain? Because I've seen him in like everything. James Frame.
Chess.
I mean, he's a good actor. James Frame's great.
I've seen him in
funny enough, going back around here, he's Ambassador Sarek on Star Trek Discovery.
He is?
Oh, he's great. He is. He's awesome in that show.
Like, in a role that...
Azrael in season 2 of Gotham.
He's a lot of things. He's a good actor. He's one of those True Detective. One of those guys. Yeah.
But just, I remember NBC had a lot of bad shows. They had like the Knight Rider reboot that I didn't mind.
Oh god, that Knight Rider reboot.
They had remember The Event?
Oh
yeah.
No. Yeah.
That took like a whole season to get to said event and talk about it.
Wait, was that the one with all the people on the plane that something happened?
No, that's different
Lost. That's like a Lost.
No, there's another show where they were gone for years and they show back up.
No, 4400 was on USA, and that was people from the future were trying.
No, The Event was one of Jason Ritter's long line of shows he hasn't been able to be in. That has not gone past the season.
God, I don't even remember. I mean, because after Lost, there were so many shows that were trying to be this like huge mystery for the first season. Like there was one that Lake Bell was on, and it was something with the ocean, but I can't remember what it was.
Is that the one where they
talking about the underwater one, right?
The whale thing, and it's I remember.
I don't know.
Surface.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it only lasted a season, and it was.
I remember decent. Flash Forward being a pretty notable one.
Yeah, Flash Forward.
Flash Forward, I actually watched, and that one wasn't bad.
The one that I watched, and I'm still mad that they canceled because they left it on a cliffhanger. Was the V reboot?
Oh,
the V reboot was actually not bad either. Yeah.
No, it was really good, and I was really mad at how they left it because it was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also of what was the show? Firefly fame.
Oh, Marina Baccarat.
Who
was ageless.
But Elizabeth Mitchell from Lost was on there.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
This
is like cats.
And then there was the one where the power goes out, like the power goes out around the world, and like everything's gone backwards.
See, I feel like
that's the Jon Favreau show.
I feel like half these shows have had like a CW version that exists. Because what is it? Isn't it The 100? I feel like The 100. All these shows.
The 100 is, you know what? The 100 is kind of like a mashup of all those shows. Yeah. I guess.
Here's the thing: J.J. Abrams was responsible for a lot of these happening, like
Alcatraz. Not even intentionally, but some of them, yes. He
Alcatraz, the one where it's like, what happened to the prisoners on Alcatraz like 50 years ago? Here's her.
Yeah, they're returning and they're aged.
Wait, are they? Isn't that a show that's happening right now?
No, you're seeing
shows back up on Alcatraz.
Lou, you're just seeing trailers for it on CW Seed right now. That's all. That's what's going on.
Oh yeah, that tricks me all the time.
That show's been off air for a very long time.
I'm looking what else he's. Oh wait, no, he did that Almost Human Carl Urban Robot Cop show.
Oh,
that show was on for years.
No, that show was on for a season.
No, more than that. My brother was watching it for like 4 years, dude. I'm pretty sure.
He was just watching
one
season over.
Oh, wow. I thought it was on for like a very long time.
It should have been on for a long time because it's really good.
It's really good. It has like 13 episodes or something like that. That's it.
I'll take your word on that.
So he was watching 20-minute chunks of it for 4 years?
Well, he was watching it in a Quibi, because
with the brother in question, he might have. I was telling the story in one of the chats how he stopped watching a season of House of Cards with like 13 minutes left, and he came back to it 6 months later. Like he's a maniac. He would just like stop things in the middle.
Why? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, he's a weird individual. But yeah, he would just get bored of things. Just like, I'm done. I'm going away now. I'm not coming back. And I'd give him shit for it all the time.
I've done that with shows that like I've liked. It's like they take too long to come back from a season.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like
I mean, I've fallen asleep and not gone back to things. That certainly happened.
Because I remember like I really liked iZombie, and I think I've only watched the first season.
The tone of that show was not too for me.
I like goofy procedurals. That's my genre. I love Castle. I love Psych.
Yeah.
Monk. Like that's like my jam. So it was like very much that. And then I was like, oh, it was gone for almost a full year. I was like, I can't go back to this. There's like 17 other CW shows to watch.
Well, yeah. There are 17 of them, and I need to know which 3 are good or at least watchable.
Speaking of Psych, I kind of hope that sequel movie, like, I know there's that free tier of Peacock, and I have a gut feeling I will have to get that. If you want to see the Psych movie, you have to get, like, a tier above that.
Wow, that'll be. You might as well just throw your money away. Just
there's internets. There's internets.
Yeah,
because every episode and all the other stuff is on Amazon.
Not for long, it won't.
Yeah. Why is NBC coming out with their own premium? Well, they're owned by Comcast. Never mind. That explains it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they saw how CBS was doing it, and they're like, we gotta get in on that.
Because this is war, Eric. This is.
I get it. I get it, but
I wonder if I'll get it free.
Arlen, what is it good for?
Actually, think if you have Comcast cable, I think you get it free.
You probably do.
Yeah.
So it's set to launch on July 15th. If you're an Xfinity customer, you get it April 15th.
Oh, I'll watch it. I'll tell you how it is, and then I'll tell you also how much I fucking hate that company.
I'm looking to see because they're the ones doing they're doing a Battlestar Galactica reboot.
Again?
Okay.
From the guy who made Mr. Robot, from the Mr. Robot guy.
Wait, no, he's doing it?
He's doing it.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Grant Morrison is executive producing a Brave New World adaptation.
Okay. Piques my interest.
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
Does it come with a tab of acid?
Well, that's the thing. I guess he's no longer going to be adapting The Invisibles because that had been some hot news for a while that there was actually forward momentum on a Invisibles adaptation. And
I feel like he gets close on everything, and strangely, the only thing that's ever been turned into anything is Happy.
Happy, yeah.
I'm looking to see they're doing a Saved by the Bell reboot, a Punky Brewster reboot.
Why?
A MacGruber TV show.
Well,
okay.
All right. Punky
there
Brewster,
is a MacGyver TV show that's still currently running, so fine.
Punky Brewster, I can understand because we're now 30 years outside of the 80s. 40 years outside of the 80s when that, oh God, shoot me. Yeah, so all that stuff is just like, oh yeah, that show was stupid. We should redo that. Like
that's where like it doesn't. It's like I kind of get the idea of Saved by the Bell because now that's in the like 30-year-old, like that's in my generation of like grew up watching, which I ain't gonna watch that bullshit, but I get it more.
Yeah,
but Punky Brewster I don't get. Like they tried to do stuff like that when they did what was it, Girl Meets World?
Yeah,
and like that shit fell on its fucking face. I feel like they see Fuller House and they're like, how the fuck do we do that? And they don't understand.
Yeah, but Fuller House isn't around anymore for a reason. So I don't.
No, isn't Fuller House still on?
No, it got canceled. Like
ended, quote unquote.
People are rebooting things for reasons that make no sense to me whatsoever.
So the problem with Fuller House was they kept hiding was it Sweeney, the middle sister, in giant sweaters.
Yeah.
That was the only I would pop in there and be like, oh, let's see how many layers they have on her this episode.
Yeah,
then it stars a noted criminal. I mean that's not the reason. What am I talking about?
Oh no, she's not even really in this show.
I'm joking.
I feel like the whole reboot stuff. Well, I mean, mind you, 30, 40 years old, but it's just like
Right.
making new things is hard.
I mean,
Well, you
here's
have
the
to
thing.
pay. You have to pay people, and they
Yeah,
I'm
that's
own
it.
those
sympathetic.
IPs.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic to that. The whole new things are hard, but at the same time, like
Who
if
the
you're just
fuck
doing
is
it to fill
demanding a
space-
Punky Brewster reboot?
right? Exactly.
He's kind of got a point.
Also-
Who the hell is demanding that?
Of
The
all the
people who were in the
things
original
to
that are still
reboot,
alive.
you know, if you're NBC and you have a large catalog of shows that extends far and wide, and you're looking at your catalog and you're saying to yourself, Punky Brewster or a show about an eccentric detective who wears a raincoat in LA. I wonder if we should do that. Or Punky Brewster. Let's do Punky Brewster. Do it,
Well,
Peacock. Do it
if
and
they're-
cast Mark
if-
Ruffalo.
The
If
Saved
they're
by the Bell reboot, it's just like, why? I mean, I get, okay, Mark Paul Gosselaar's not doing anything. He's back. Tiffany Amber Thiessen's back. Mario Lopez is taking a break from hosting whatever entertainment talk
Right.
show of the week.
Yeah, I
these
feel like
None of them do
dogs.
anything. One of them is crazy and does porn, and one of them is
Yeah.
just fucking crazy.
right.
Yeah.
So like that one doesn't make
Elizabeth
sense to me.
Berkley?
Because
No,
that one,
the I can't remember.
yeah,
Large
That one-
Voorhees. Yeah.
Lisa Turtle.
yeah.
Large
That one-
Because
Voorhees.
Elizabeth Berkley's back. I'm like, what the hell did she do? Because we all know how great Showgirls turned out. Ooh.
Right.
Mhm.
Showgirls was like
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
God.
Yeah, I don't really understand Saved by the Bell because the concept isn't what made that show that show. At least by my understanding, it was the chemistry of that cast and the time period in which it came out
Yeah.
that
Yeah, it
made
was-
it at all interesting to the
lightning
people
in a
who watched
bottle.
it.
It was lightning in a bottle.
Exactly.
Like
Also,
it was,
this is everyone's reminder that Zach Morris is literally one of the worst people to ever exist on television.
Oh, he
Like-
basically gets Screech killed every episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's
Like-
governor in the reboot.
It's like if they
course.
tried to remake Twin Peaks, but they recasted everybody, and they just started from scratch.
and they're all like 20 years younger. No, with Saved by the Bell, like that hit right at the point where like I wasn't quite too old in my own mind you, for Saturday morning cartoons, but I also was a little bit in my own mind too old to be watching them. So it's like, oh, cool. There's people who are arguably in their 20s, but they're playing teenagers, and I can relate to this completely fictional, idealized
Mhm.
version of high school. So I feel like it was that weird point where like
Right.
kids, people my age were starting to kind of realize there was more to the world than just seeing what cartoon was on at the time. And,
Right.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
This
Disney
was your
Channel-
version of Teen Wolf, is what you're saying.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Teen Wolf on Amazon Prime.
No.
No.
And Disney Channel came in and kind of ruined that market curve because they came
Yeah.
out with stuff for every age, live action, and
Yes.
you didn't have that
Well,
uniqueness anymore.
Yeah.
Yes
That's
and
the other
no.
thing. Disney Channel makes this kind of show all the time. There's
Yep.
there's
They
nothing
literally
fresh
told the
about
reboot
this.
game already with the Raven reboot and the
Well, yeah,
Boy Meets World reboot.
that, but just
Yeah,
even
that's
like
what I'm
their
saying.
new shows, even their shows that aren't
Well,
remakes
the
of
thing
the
is,
same.
At that time, they didn't have a definition for the people watching that, which is tweens.
Right.
Now there is
Yep.
a definition, and there are tons of shows made for
Mhm.
them. 'Cause
Exactly.
Aren't they trying to remake Fresh Prince?
Probably.
I
Why?
don't think they're going. Why? I don't see why they would do that. But I don't think
Right.
they're going
Because I'm
to.
pretty
I
sure it was
think,
going to star one of his kids.
Yeah, I think
No,
he put the,
don't
I
do
heard
that.
about that, but I think he put the kibosh on.
Bring him back. Bring Will Smith back, absolutely. But like, why do one of his kids? Like, honestly, hire a rapper. I mean, not that he's a great actor, but Chance. Hell, like anybody.
Bring back the desiccated corpse of Uncle Phil as well.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Bring back Aunt Vib 1 and 2.
Yes, have them
Right.
fight it
Change
out.
every scene, have it be a different one.
Well,
Yes.
The more
And-
they
Have
actually-
why not
Carlton be
you-
the Uncle Phil.
Yes.
Well, I won't be satisfied until they bring back Different Strokes, but it's two poor white trash kids that get adopted by LeBron James.
You say that, but I would watch that show.
I would too. It would be great.
You know what? I'm surprised no one's resurrected Perfect Strangers yet and brought back Bronson Pinchot.
I feel like they have, just not with that name.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those like, oh, there's like 17 of those shows. Like it's The Odd Couple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they did The Odd Couple, and that was
Oh yeah, it was
that was
that was
insane.
when
Oh
that was
yeah,
that, like
that's what Family Matters spun off from.
Well, it's also different, or not different strokes. God damn it! Perfect Strangers was The Odd Couple with just a little bit of mid-90s xenophobia. Like
Mhm.
that's
Right.
basically what it was.
The
Yeah.
best kind.
And Family Matters was like, oh, it's like we can make a show about like a sitcom with black people, but he has to be cop. So
Yeah.
Well, and that's if they did a reboot of Family Matters, it would be gritty because like
Right.
Carl would be off the force for having shot somebody, and he's trying to work his way back on. So yeah, it's
yeah, he
different
pulls his
time
gun in
period.
every episode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also Urkel would be cool for being smart.
So that's how
Right.
Carl Winslow got to Die Hard. I shot a kid.
Yes. And a German who's trying to kill my friend. Yeah.
Oh, God, Urkel would not work nowadays, would he?
No,
He
no,
would
like,
not.
No.
Yeah.
he'd be too cool.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it would be like the Flash in the new Spider-Man movie. Like,
Yes, he would.
yeah.
Kind of, except well, I guess we don't know that much about
You know
Flash.
what they would end up doing? They would end up doing Big Bang Theory, where he's basically on the
he's
spectrum,
autistic.
but they won't say it.
Yeah.
Because they've never said it
Yeah.
on anything or any of that stuff, like, right? They've never officially said that he's.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that people can't still be very angry about it.
Oh no, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying why. I don't understand why they never did.
Well, maybe they're going to take a brave stance on the hit new show Young Sheldon, and it,
You say hit new show. I think it's in like 4th season.
I don't know. I'm old man. I don't.
That
have
show's
cable.
been on for 100 years.
I don't have cable, so I don't know.
Well, it's not even on cable. It's on basic television, and
I don't have that. I have the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your favorite
I'm
network,
there with you.
CBS.
So Eric, what you're saying is you took the smart choice.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, we cut our cord a very long time.
They are almost done with season 3.
God.
God damn
if you told me it was season 10, I would believe you.
Well, it's cool though because the virus has some good things. It's keeping that show from being continually produced because apparently.
Oh no, it has a new episode coming out on the 2nd.
Oh fuck me. God.
Well, there are a lot of shows are kind of in limbo right now. Yeah.
Well, all the CW stuff is on pause. Like everything.
Flash isn't coming back now until later in 2020 to finish up their season.
Falcon and Winter Soldier wasn't even done filming. Like they were still filming it. They were filming in Prague. Like there's been snippets of interviews coming out with Bucky, Sebastian Stan, saying like he doesn't know when they're going to finish it. He's like, we want to come back and finish it, but we don't know when at this point.
And, like there's like because I think Supergirl they were in like their last week of filming.
Yeah,
when they pulled the plug.
Yeah. A lot of the CW shows were. I was looking last night to figure out when Nancy Drew was going to finish up because I've actually watched all of it so far.
Nerd.
Lou, you understand. I need the mystery, and I need to know the answer to the mystery. If I don't have these things, my mind will explode. But yeah,
look, Scott Wolf. I wonder how long he's going to make this show last.
Exactly. But they were set to finish shooting today.
Oh God! Well, things change.
So yeah.
But like it's like the Batman like shut down, and who the hell knows how long that's going to.
Well, yeah, it's like in the news episode we did a couple weeks ago. Like, hey, were you looking forward to anything? Like,
right?
Yeah.
The Oscars next year will be like, oh, best comedy of the year. I said the Impractical Jokers movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is where Mark Wahlberg's finally going to win an Academy Award for Spencer Confidential on Netflix.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
They're just going to put the Oscars on YouTube. We don't even care.
No, because then they'd have to consider YouTube movies for the Oscars.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the PewDiePie movie will get a nomination.
I can't wait till they put out a press release saying we are not going by the 2-week rule for theatrical releases. Something that they said they would never do. They would never go back on that. They would never allow non-theatrical release.
They don't want to give Bloodshot Oscars for best visual effects.
I mean, far as I can tell so far, of movies that are actually going to get released this year, yeah, like it's weird. It's going to be weird because assuming we get movies sometime before September, a lot of shit's going to come out in a 3-month or a 4-month period, very close to each other.
Well, some of the fall movies haven't even finished filming yet. Like the new Ridley Scott's not even done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. That's true. Like a lot of the fall stuff and the Oscar bait-ish stuff isn't even going to come out.
Yeah.
So the Oscars are going to have to go off of what did come out.
Yeah, basically,
And Boys for Life and Doolittle are going to be your American winner.
1917 is going to win everything.
That technically qualified for last year.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So Sonic the Hedgehog wins like best animated film.
Oh god.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. A lot of movies are gonna, I assume we do get movies again by August. I don't think WB
maybe
was off. I'm really hoping we get movies.
I would hope so too.
Again by
but
August.
If not,
I was
saying
saying by
the possibility
May,
that
but
Doolittle is going to get nominated.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do that, but like, here's the way the Oscars really works. It's the movies you've seen most recently, and the movies that had the biggest and most widespread Oscars campaign. That's what gets nominated. So if they're not going to spend the money to campaign, if they're not even going to put out the traditional Oscar movies, it's going to be what Oscar voters have seen recently. And their entire voting pool is going to be very skewed in weird ways. They're going to have some very interesting results that we may never see the likes of again.
As of right now, Candyman, Soul, all the June movies, so Candyman, Soul, King of Staten Island, Top Gun 2, they're still sticking to their release dates.
Sure.
Free Guy, Ghostbusters, and Tenet is sticking to its release dates.
I think that's because they haven't even sent the stuff out yet, so
yeah.
I think they're just waiting to see what like the government says, but like I live in the DC area. Like we haven't even hit the hard part yet. Like May's gonna be the hard part.
Like that's the thing. Like people talk about like reducing or flattening the curve. Is it flattening the curve?
Flattening the curve.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Flattening the curve. That's just getting it to a manageable level.
That's
doesn't
not overrun hospitals.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's not. Oh, the disease is gone. Everything's great. Like that's just getting to a manageable level. We've still got work to do after that. So we're gonna do anything, but you know what I mean. Like it's
the Phantom Zone podcast has found a cure.
Yeah, like to go with Eric saying, like I have had like a couple of meetings for like my graduate school stuff where I have to work in schools, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not sure if you're going to be able to work in a school for the next semester because we don't know when they're going to open."
Yeah, I mean, like, at least in my state, they just keep pushing it back. Like, oh, well, in 2 weeks, we'll reevaluate it. Motherfucker, just say school's canceled.
Yeah, school's canceled, and, like, by me, it's been canceled for, like, a week.
Yeah, they're Pennsylvania hasn't been hit as hard as some of the other areas, but it's still just, like, just do it. Just say they're going to do net learning and be done with it.
Yeah. Which, it's, like, it's such a shit show, because, like, of what they have to do here. Because...
Well, they got to protect those old people that are right near you. So,
they're all there, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool, though, because that $1,200 is going to pay for everything forever. That's a year's fucking bounty. I mean, how much is rent? $10? $10? $15 at most?
I mean, it might be here real soon. If our dollar collapses.
It'll be a loaf of bread and two half rolls of toilet paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I found toilet paper today and we were hyped.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about what our supply is. We didn't buy it when everything was going nuts. We're good. I'm just going to say that.
My wife's like, I think we have enough toilet paper to get us to 2021. So, there's only 2 of us.
Yeah. Well, we've got 2 other kids that are here on a semi-regular basis, so it's they eat
if they're not in your house right now, they're not coming there anytime soon.
Oh no, they can still travel between like parents' houses, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's not. We're not on lockdown yet. We're not on shelter in place.
Do you make them like wait outside and like dump Lysol on them from the second floor?
No, we anytime they come in the house, it's wash your hands. First thing we tell them,
Right.
and then we wipe down the doorknob and lock on the door. So yeah.
Just make them take a shower.
Yes.
Anyway, Monster Hunter is still coming out on September 4th. So
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Hunter, I can't tell you how excited I am about that. I'm talking to you, Hunter. Yes, Monster
I feel like we
Hunter.
need to do a movie special for
You should.
if it comes out on streaming on like one of the services,
Oh yes.
like
Yes.
that has to be done.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
will.
wait for Bill and Ted Face the Music to get nominated for an Oscar. That's gonna be. It's gonna be.
That's
real
gonna win the
good.
Golden Globe for best musical and comedy because it's actually both.
Oh,
You
God.
joke.
I
But-
know. Hey,
You
it won't be
joke, sir.
it won't be the worst thing to win that.
Yeah, I'd be okay. Okay,
Didn't The Martian win that once?
the Golden Globes
Yes.
are trash. Let's just say this right now. The Golden Globes are not a real award show.
The Martian
They
is
are-
best comedy is when
right.
I realized this statement.
Yeah.
I think
Well, 'cause
most
it's-
award shows right now at this point are trash.
Yeah,
No,
they are.
but here's the thing. It's different. The Golden Globes is 60 European men, all over the weight of 250 and up to the weight of 650.
Chain
Who-
smoking the whole time.
Yes, they go to Turkish baths all the time.
They sound
And-
pretty cool to me right now.
Yeah.
I
that's it.
mean, for the most part, they're pretty cool, but they're all old and they're all kind of gross. They invite movie stars to their parties in order to get like invited to other things to like grease their palms or whatever. And if you grease their palms enough, they'll give you an award.
So what you're
um,
saying is it's 60 golden globuses is what's going on
Yes.
right now.
Honestly, it's pretty close. It's fairly close to that.
Or like
Um,
Saban and goldlesses.
Oh, you know what? I can't wait to see it get nominated at the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the whole 9 yards. Morbius.
hmm
Oh.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Death in the Nile also still coming out on October 9th.
Well, that has like October is like far enough out. We're like, yeah.
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 No, I'm just saying that a lot of
Well-
stuff will be in.
Hey, maybe like when Black Widow comes out, it'll win an Oscar.
Oh yeah, that could be awesome.
I mean, you never
M2
know.
or
Could you
Snake
could you
Eyes.
imagine? Here's my
Yeah.
favorite thing that they could do. Whatever date Warner Brothers does for Wonder Woman, they put Black Widow right up against it same day.
I
I would congratulate them for forever. I'd be like, yeah, that's what you do.
They're
Yeah.
in such
I
a
would just-
place
I would-
that
you know what
I
that
don't
would mean
think
for me?
that wouldn't hurt anybody. I don't think.
No, I would
Like-
just literally I would go up to the ticket person and be like, 2 tickets
Double
for different
feature.
movies.
Yeah, they're in a place right now where they could do that, and both movies would do fine in the long
Yeah.
run.
I think it would probably help them both. But like it would
Yeah.
be such a baller ass move.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like
yes,
putting,
it would.
like putting Matrix.
not like the
4
BVS thing a
on
couple
same
years
time
ago.
day.
Yeah, but it's not like a couple years ago when we were like, move it. Civil War is going to destroy you. What are you doing? Move.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing, BVS?
Well,
Um,
or even more recent, like Infinity War and Endgame, where everybody's just like, "All right, we need to get out of the way of this because we're fucked. If we try to."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the movie Rampage moved back 2 whole weeks because of Infinity War, and it was
Yes.
out like a week before. Yeah, that was fun. Godzilla versus Kong is coming out in November. So that's gonna win. an Oscar.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah, best
gonna-
VGX. It's between that and Bloodshot.
No, it's gonna win Best Picture, Lou. It's going to win Best Picture.
Hang on, guys. Excuse you. The Clifford the Big Red Dog movie is out the week beforehand.
Oh god damn it! God damn it!
Yeah, the thing is, like kids movies.
Which one
like
is the best kaiju?
kids
Clifford
I am
movies,
the best
that
guy.
title.
kids movies like that are so easy to pump out that I can see them not having a problem getting into theaters. Like, all right, we
Yeah.
got like 2 weeks. Go.
It's like parents want their kids to get the fuck out of the house. They've dealt with them for 6 months.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Dune isn't coming out this year, is it?
Yes, it is.
Dune is. in
Dune
December.
is not.
Isn't it November?
Oh, December 18th. I have right here the same
But
day
did
as West
Dune
Side
finish
Story.
production? Did they finish production before this all happened?
don't
or-
Yeah, I
know.
believe so. Hang on one second.
I don't know.
Filming was completed in July 2019, so yeah, they're still in post.
Okay.
Oh,
So they just have
Okay.
to have somebody edit on their computer, which they can do at their house.
I mean,
Yeah.
sound mixing and all that.
Dune is a much more serious Oscar contender now that a lot of other movies will be coming out, I assume. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's coming out the same day as Spielberg's West Side Story remake.
Fuck. How are they gonna make that movie that is so inherently like racist, like the story, like in 2020?
Well, they got the writer of Angels in America.
yeah, they hired a
it's-
team, but still,
It's still Romeo and Juliet, where Puerto Rican people are bad.
Yep.
yeah, like it.
Yep.
I think they're deliberately filling it with people from like who are.
I didn't even know this was happening.
Well, yeah, and the cast is a lot of white people.
Well, there is
not the shark side. There's a lot of like Rita Moreno's in it. You have most of the sharks are filled with people of Latin origin.
Yeah, and you have this famous Latin actor Ansel Elgort.
Okay. Well, he's Tony.
Well, no, the woman is the Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah, Maria is Puerto Rican, I think.
Yeah, it's not the guy.
All right.
It still sounds.
Oh,
so,
Yellow Jacket's in this movie.
So basically, they're making the exact same goddamn movie again. Wait, Yellow Jacket, as in from Ant-Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's a cop.
As Police Lieutenant Shrank.
Of course, he's a cop. Of course, he's a cop.
All right, I am like going through the cast list. Besides Rita Moreno, it takes me like 7 or 8 people to get to a Spanish name.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I am low-key disappointed that In the Heights got pushed back because I was looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
I'm more disappointed that James Wan's directorial film is going to be pushed back.
Yeah, that one stuff. Malignant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Malignant. Yeah, because I'm really curious to see what he's going to do outside of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're right.
Okay.
Still on
in the Aquaman
horror movie.
Yeah.
Can I go back for a second? The woman playing Maria, this is literally her first thing.
Yeah,
ever.
they did that a lot though. They went directly to Broadway.
So she is Hispanic, but her name is Zegler, Rachel Zegler. Her mother is Colombian.
That's pretty common, I guess.
Who is this for?
Right, like
people Steven Spielberg's age. So
I get that Steven Spielberg really loves this.
This is literally an Oscar movie. I mean, I love Spielberg, but this is an Oscar movie.
Like
it's Romeo and Juliet, but with brown people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that made sense in the 50s when the film was made
70 years ago.
Yeah,
right. Made in the late 50s, released in 61, but like that made sense then. That I don't understand doing that now. Just do another version of Romeo and Juliet. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still kind of interested in it myself.
I would rather see somebody do like take a Romeo and Juliet, like what was done, the Romeo plus Juliet thing with the
DiCaprio. The Baz Luhrmann film.
Not even that exactly, but just like
not like that, but like a modern, like what that was, but now.
I don't think Spielberg's ever done a musical, so
yeah, and again, I get it, but like, if his name wasn't attached, I would have zero.
Oh, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Like, I would immediately be like, no. Why do we need this? This is not necessary whatsoever. Like, I don't see the purpose of it. Yeah.
On a positive, I don't like new adaptation of The Witches coming out in October.
I mean, that's fine.
With
I grew up with that movie.
Zemeckis co-writing and directing the movie, and Guillermo del Toro is one of the writers.
Yeah, but it's not going to have Jack Nicholson puking up cherries at the end.
Right.
I don't care. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Chris Rock and Anne Hathaway.
These are important factors.
They are.
But once again, that goes back to the why are you continually readapting things? And I get it. Like, that's an argument.
The original idea is
forever.
That's why, Eric.
I think I feel like it's not that they're scary. It's that they cost $3 more.
Mm-hmm.
Like they already own this IP. They don't have to pay. So like they don't have to pay or license somebody. Like, oh, it's their new idea. So then they have to deal with rewriting all the rights. They already own all these rights.
Yeah, but there's so many scripts that come out of like the blacklist? Is
The
that
blacklist, yeah.
yeah, that like companies will buy up just so other companies don't make them. So they're just sitting on ideas that are worthwhile, but nah, let's put this thing out that made money
Right.
50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, instead of this could be a potential new money maker for us. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I understand both sides of it, but it's frustrating because I hear like, oh, the witches, oh, a new West Side Story. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like,
there's I see very little reason for it. Again, unless somebody has a really good idea for why, but most of the time they don't. Most of the time, there's no
unless you're someone
good
along the
idea
lines of
there.
like Nolan, who does movies like Tenet.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
which
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I need to see that.
I can't wait for that.
Yes. But I guess on that note, we should probably wrap it up. It's almost midnight, and or at least on the East Coast. And we've been just kind of rambling on all over the place. So, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I've been your forced into the position host, Erik Fedorchak. You can find me at Erik_Fedor on Instagram. There's pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics. Although I haven't really put much up there recently, just because I've, like everybody else, kind of just been in a funk. Like I'm not trying to treat this like it's a fucking snow day, like some of you assholes out there, because it's not. Like shit's gonna get real ugly soon, and you all need to be ready for it.
Read the road, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I reel that back a little bit. It's not going to get like Mad Max post-apocalypse, but it's not going to be as much fun as people think it is right now. In probably about 2 weeks, when it really starts to hit home how serious this is. Outside of that, you can find me on the Phantom Zone. I'm floating around there, doing whatever. Which Phantom Zone turned how old recently? I can't remember.
4. I believe.
4.
Yeah, the group turned 4-ish.
Okay. So yeah, hey,
So-
congratulations for if you're a member, cool. If you're not, go join. It's fun. Or not, whatever. You live your life, do your thing. I get it. Things are busy right now, but really, if you don't have enough time to click a join Facebook group, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Or if you're not on Facebook.
Yeah, that too. That's a very strong possibility. Outside of that, Leonardo, everything you do is correct, and I give you permission to punch Hunter in the face.
I feel like we should just be like, like Logan Paul and KSI and just stage a Hunter versus Leo fight.
Except it would have to be
in the middle of a parking lot in New Hampshire.
It would have to be via video games right now.
So here's the thing. We already have a long list of fights that we have to get through. That goes back to the beginning of the show, when we promised that when the show ended, me, Alan, and Chris Smith would have a 3-way tag team match. So yeah, that would we have a long list of stuff. There are other matches I'm sure I've forgotten about. I'll do my plugs and stuff and all that. And say goodbye. LHP still putting out regular episodes because me and Erik have all the time in the world now.
The fuck else are you guys doing? Yeah.
Yeah. As I announced on a previous episode, we are doing a James Bond miniseries thing. It's gonna have a separate title, different opening theme, all of that stuff.
So it's funny, as you mentioned that, I got really inspired by that, so I started watching Dr. No.
Oh, well.
I've not seen the majority of James Bond movies. I just want to point that out. I've seen all the Craigs and like a spattering of a few in between.
Oh, I think I've seen 90% of them.
If I can inspire somebody to go watch some other ones, that's good. So yeah, look forward to that. The first episode is in the can, so I know that it is coming out second Sunday of April, I think. So look forward to that. We talked some early Connery. We talked about how Erik does not think he's that hot. I disagree, but we did not make the entire episode about that. So look forward to hearing what everybody thinks about that episode. And I would hope that people want to be guests on future episodes if they would like.
Never.
Wow.
Whenever you want to summon me.
Never.
Like I said, I think I've seen all of them except for the 2 newest ones.
Yeah.
So Skyfall?
I saw Skyfall. I haven't seen, what was the one after? Spectre.
So Eric, you're saying that if I invite you to be on an episode where like 75-year-old Roger Moore fucks a 20-year-old black woman on screen, you aren't interested in watching that episode?
That's the one with Christopher Walken?
Yes, that's the Grace Jones.
The Grace Jones Christopher Walken?
Yes.
Distasteful.
You don't want to see.
You don't want to watch a movie where Christopher Walken plays a French billionaire who has a sexual relationship with Grace Jones, and he was genetically engineered using horse steroids.
I don't approve.
He's not a French billionaire. He's a Russian.
No, he's a Russian secret agent posing as a French billionaire. Yeah, he's using Zeppelins.
I don't approve.
Zeppelins because he wants to sink. He wants to sink Silicon Valley.
He wants to send an asteroid into Silicon Valley to get the microchips.
No, he wants to destroy the industry and be the only producer of microchips.
So it's Goldfinger, but way dumb.
Yes, it's the exact plot of Goldfinger. But I don't
like the idea of Grace Jones sullying herself with a terrible old white man. It bothers me.
But here's the thing: when you watch it, she's in control the entire time.
Oh, there's a story in one of it that like she did not like him, and she snuck a giant black dildo into their bed scene and tried to jam it in him.
It is. You notice it. You're like, oh, they do not like each other. They do not get along at all, and she is on top the entire time.
I believe this is the time when she's dating Dolph Lundgren too, right? When they're married.
It would be harder for him to reach up and slap her, so that's why she's on top
exactly.
all the time. Yeah.
Well, he's 80 years old.
Also, she's holding his wrists down.
She's dominating him. If he tries to escape, he's going to break a hip.
It's my favorite thing in a terrible Bond movie.
Is he a worse old Bond, or is Sean Connery in was it Thunderball?
No, Never Say Never Again.
Never Say Never. I always
mix up official Bond movie.
Yeah, they're the same movie.
Yeah, they are the same. He's better in Never Say Never Again than Roger Moore is in that movie. Because by those last 2 movies, he looks like an old handbag. He does not look good.
That's the movie where he's driving half a car for like a clip.
I think so, yes. It's just...
Because it's front wheel drive.
Anyway, so that was that, and then I had a joke plug I was going to do, but I've forgotten it. So,
was it something about send to whatever about Moonlight or something? I don't know.
No,
that's my bit.
I remember what it is. Look me up on OnlyFans. Doing some great work there.
Finally biting the bullet and selling feet pic. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, Hunter has an OnlyFans. It's OnlyFans Tallboy69.
Yeah, if you want to see exclusive content from all your
he has a lot of stuffed animals that he does things with. He's particularly into wolf. His first is a tall wolf boy.
I can't wait till he hears this.
Definitely do not send your own images of like fan art or first stuff to Hunter at young_kami or what's his Twitter?
He's probably selling. He's probably in a fursuit right now.
Oh, he's probably it up right now. Yeah. It's the only way to be safe.
All right.
So I guess you can listen to all the other shows. Me and John are on the comic show. We just had our episode come out. We talked about what we've been doing and reading and video games, all sorts of other stuff.
About 15 minutes of that episode was dedicated to how much me and Connor were angry at the Artemis Fowl movie.
The Artemis Fowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Artemis Fowl movie.
And the rest of it was just GameStop again.
Yes, just shitting on GameStop. Because Connor also worked there like me and Ryan. And then we are still doing Smallville Chronicles. New episode is coming out. We just recorded. We're into season 6. You have plenty of free time, so you could go watch that show.
Nah.
Yep. I'm gonna pass on that one, dog.
I only joined when there's
and I don't hate
specials
that show,
involved.
but no thanks.
That's only 10 seasons.
I only join when there's
Yeah,
specials
only
involved,
10
like
seasons,
Chun-Li.
That movie's bad. All right.
That movie was bad. Anyway. Yeah, I'm on Twitter, JamesScott193. Go listen. I know it's on YouTube. I'm not sure when it's coming out. I guess it's the first part of our quarantine recommendation podcast episode. Like it's part 1.
Mm-hmm. It's out now.
It's out now. It's on YouTube. I don't know if it's on podcast services at the moment because I hadn't seen it on mine today. But yeah, listen to it. I truly think it's one of the funnier episodes we've done in a while that I've been a part of, at least anyway. There's just a lot of good humor and good jokes and good stress relief came from that you can hear from everybody.
Yeah.
And just wash your hands, stay away from people.
Yeah.
Be safe.
And if you have a used sports goods store nearby, go buy football pads now, because you can start putting spikes in one of them.
Yeah. Get some hacksaws. You're gonna need those. And
I love how you define it as a used sports store.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna buy fucking football pads new. That's madness. Or you can take them off the body of your enemies. You could also buy a hockey mask and paint it black, so you can look like Lord Humongous.
Right. Save your bucks. So, so when the Book of Eli times come, you can inspire armies to follow your command.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And cook those babies up. All right.
Right.
Everybody, have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Leo, send those pictures.
Please.